Alright, it's time for yet another Platinum Jax. This is, I think, the third one. And yeah, he's actually a good champion if you want to rank yourself up in lower divisions. And he still works in the higher ones, which too, because he's a champion while having, despite having a weaker early game, he's a good champion in the jungle sometimes because he has actual crowd control on a hard form of CC, which is AoE, despite its long cooldown. And he's got a really strong late game if you can get to that point. So, in a sense, you can make plays early, and if you need to, you can stall till the very end and then start wrecking faces. So, it's that risk-reward kind of thing. He has a lot of negative jungle matchups, even after he gets his level 6 ultimate and starts able to break people's faces in. And he's got some issues, like a desperate need for farm, and the fact that he needs like mana, and none of the spirit items exactly are good for him, except maybe the spirit of the ancient golem until a little bit later, or as your tenacity item. But still, he's a champion I like to play because I mean it's great to carry things and murder things at the same and still be able to have some form of utility. You can build a sort of tanky Jax that you use for utility. There I screwed up my stun, but it doesn't matter. The Renekton is too far gone, and he's just going to get killed. I'm surprised he didn't try to use his flash at any point in that, though he probably would have died regardless. I mean, as soon as he saw me screw up the stun, he could have at least tried. It's not the first time I've screwed up the stun, though, as you'll see. I'm going to go try to gank mid. I get my stun up, I flash forward, and she, jumps off, so my Q was out of range. Doesn't matter. I'm still strong. I'm still pretty much in the lead versus the enemy Jinx. And you'll find out that, a Jax that gets an item over anybody else, even in the jungle, will break their faces in. Keep in mind this. Oh yeah, I haven't even sold my actual runes and masteries. That's important. I believe my runes and masteries were 9-21-0. And my runes were attack damage red, attack damage quints as usual, armor yellow, and magic resistance blues. Though, if you would want to, you could take attack speed reds or attack speed quints, and it still do well. His passive is enough usually just to make up for that. Though some people would recommend you take hybrid runes for your red and attack damage quints. They all work, doesn't matter. He's very versatile when it comes to his offensive runes. And here's one little thing I usually try to point out in some games. The Tristana doesn't have enough power to kill me. And thus I jumped her, dealt some damage, and took off half her health. Thing is, I was going to go home anyways to buy more items. So if you're a jungler and you know you won't die, go in and trade some damage with the enemy laner. Because you'll either force them to use some potions or maybe even force them to be back. You're going to go back anyways. Unfortunately, she kills Annie, so that kind of was for naught. I mean, I burned her potions at least, but she still killed Annie. By the way, I think you guys noticed in the description, maybe, hopefully, that I've been adding another line in them about League of Legends Encyclopedia. The YouTubers all hang out in the same Facebook, in the same YouTubers chat, and we share ideas, help each other out, or whatever. Ciderhelm approached a bunch of us with his encyclopedia that he wrote, with some assistance and whatnot. You can get it as a PDF file. And it has a lot of information for pretty much everything you need in the League of Legends. Like, I was surprised. I thought, oh, it's going to be a tiny book. Hell no, that thing is like fucking hundreds of pages long. And it gets updated frequently. And I'm going to contribute to it at some point later when I have time. I mean, I like writing articles, and you guys can read them all at Rain Up Gaming. But, I've never thought of making a book or putting them in a book. So that's kind of interesting. You can go into the description and check that out. And I would recommend doing so, especially when Season 4 comes out, because that's going to be updated with all the Season 4 stuff. And I'll probably put my input there too. Nonetheless, you can see right here that my team has a significant lead, but we kind of keep giving back some bounties and trading off kills. So it is exactly daisies. I'm building a Sheen. Sheen is perhaps the most important item on a Jax, just throughout. And as a jungler, it enables you to do a lot of little cool things. If I'm not doing so well, I can build that Sheen, or if I'm not doing so well or I need to be some kind of tanky guy, I can build that Sheen into a Iceborne Gauntlet. And along with a, what's it called, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, I can be a very tanky frontliner who slows things and just, utilizes the cooldown reduction to spam his E. And you rank up your E for second instead of your Q. Or you leave your Ws at 1.1 there, but I wouldn't recommend that. That's kind of like your best move. in any case, here I catch Vi trying to, you know, escape. I use Q on her as soon as I think she's going to use her own Q to escape, and I block it, and I just flash and kill her. Though, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have used it. She ends up getting dropped. So now I'm actually making a lot of headway here. One of the Jax's best things is, like I already said, I can go tanky or I can go damage. I'm getting farms sort of for a jungler, and I'm getting kills. So that means I'm gonna go for damage. If I go damage, then my team already has the initiation from Annie and the front line from Garen. Garen will go to their like MVP or most important character, the Jinx, murder her, and then the rest of the game will go for us. As long as we protect, you know, our Annie before she gets herself killed or whatever. Annie is perhaps the most important character in our team currently in this match, as she is, you know, not only just dominating, but the fact is that she's the only true initiator we have, and that's important. Right, I have such a worship for Annie. If we have an Annie as a jungler, I mean not as a jungler, as a mid laner or as a bottom laner, it frees you up to do so many things as a jungler. Or hell, Leona, if there's a Leona in the game somehow in your team, then you're like, your dick just becomes a throbbing hardness and stuff. Having a pseudo initiator or another jungler, I mean another laner with a true initiation, frees up your jungle choices. When I saw we had an Annie, I was like, I can go Jax. I can use Jax as a follow-up initiator or as a damage dealer, depending on how the game goes. Just somebody else, even if they're not a tank, throwing down their damage just frees you up. Since there's an Annie, oh, here I'm going to die like an idiot because, you know, Saber pops her ultimate, and I'm thinking, oh, I can go in and fight. Nope, here comes Shoshana. She's going to blow me the fuck up. But as I was saying, anyone who can initiate in some way, even if they're not a tank, allows you to go multitude of champions. If you have an AP champion that can initiate, then that means you can use a less, or you can use a tanky champion with less initiation prowess, just, you know, because you already have the initiation covered. I mean, I know I'm talking in circles here, but it's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, if I have an Annie, I can go Mundo safely. If I have an Orianna, then she turns anybody into an initiator. So Jungle Jax or Shyvana become a lot better now. Like I don't need to worry about having, you know, being able to start fights as long as I can follow it up or whatever. That's great. I can still take aggro from the enemies by being such a massive threat. That's one thing people need to learn. There's a such thing called aggro tanks. Dr. Mundo is more likely considered a bruiser, but he can work as an aggro tank. He has a lot of, you know, threat. He can be very dangerous and annoying, so he ends up getting people to focus him regardless of having very little utility. If you grab a champion like that and give him a teammate that can pseudo-initiate or grant him initiation powers like Orianna, they become an even better tank. They can become sort of, you know, they will most certainly become better aggro tanks. Here, Vi tries to duel me, and I'm just waiting, you know, to bait her at the end to stay with my ultimate. And then Jinx, you know, ults me, of course. Yes. Fucking Jinx. I hate that ultimate. I love using it, but I hate it. Global ultimates tend to be that way. Nonetheless, my team comp is actually really goddamn good. We have Sivir. We have two forms of pseudo initiation with one form of true heart initiation from Annie, and a really good follow up with with Jax. Sorry for that mumble. And Garen, you're just going in there spinning and becoming some form of aggro tank or bruiser. Nonetheless, the enemy team still has a lot of disengage and damage. I mean, Tristana just disengages easily, and Renekton's kind of hard to kill. However, I had throughout the game, I'm like, you know what, my team definitely has a massive advantage. There is no way we should lose this game. If we did, I would feel bad for us. We have damage, we have initiation, we have CC, we have everything. It's well-rounded. So this Jax pick, it wasn't the first pick of the game. I believe I was actually second pick, and the Annie was the first. And the second I saw Annie, and then the second I saw Gangplank, I'm like, we have enough initiation that I can go Jax. I can justify it, and I can bring in some damage. We will have a very strong early game, and therefore I can get I can solidify the team with having a strong late game. I mean, you can already see I have a Trinity Force, and I have a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I'm already quite the force to be reckoned with. And I'm going to buy some lifesteal in order to, do even more crap. Blade of the Rune King or a Bloodthirster, and I'll be almost unstoppable, aside from being CC'd down and murdered. As you can see, they became child killers. They're masters at child killing. If you Google Renekton, you'll get some child killing pictures. If you Google child killing, Renekton will come up. Go ahead, Google child killing. Anyways, my dad tastes this joke. My team, and that squeaky chair, my team right now obviously has the massive edge. And of course, this Tristana thinks she can get away, so an empowered Q just ends up destroying her. And then, fight breaks out. I stun him, goes back, gets pulled right now by Blitzcrank. Right now he's gonna get pulled back. He gets dunked by then gets pulled back, and then gets murdered. I pick up the kill on Blitzcrank, I come back, and then here comes Garen. I flash away, No, I just stunned Renekton. I flash away. Vi knows they're gonna lose. She decides to focus me to break my face in after all the things I did to her this entire game, and she's decided to get revenge. Surprisingly, the Vi is actually pretty fed, but she doesn't have enough power to carry. She's an interesting champion. She's pretty much a one-trick pony. She's got good damage, but wouldn't really consider her reliable, since she kind of is pure melee based, and her gap closer can be blocked by pretty much any fat champion. I still like her, though. She's kind of an interesting champion to carry with. She's a very reliable champion to carry with. Her level 6... I still hate the fact that people, the riot was like, Skarner's ultimate doesn't let people escape, and even though it's hard to do, we're gonna nerf the shit out of it. And then they release Zai, and she's like, I click one button and you die. But with that, the enemy team is going to surrender. It's going to be an easy victory for us, and, just hurry for Jax. Either way, as I said... You guys can go read the description and look up Cider Helm's Encyclopedia, which I would wholeheartedly recommend. Hooray for Jax and Cider Helm's Encyclopedia.